try to find the content here. Everyone can open up the Rock Band looping example, or the Rock Band looping FFT. This is what I'm going to walk through here. And I'll do it on video as well for the benefit of the video. So in this example, well, I'll just show it to you first. Okay. So we've got different background effects that I can turn on and off separately. Now, the reason these are ugly is that I wanted to make simple examples that have minimum of code. So this is as good as that I can look in the minimum number of lines of code. So we can turn these things on and off individually. They've also got individual speeds that can be set. So we can make the tunnel go fast, independently of the other things. Or slow it down. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Oh, sweet. My keyboard, okay. And, you know, the other ones can also go faster or slower. Well, thanks. It's caps lock. That's right. And then what did I have for ones? Yeah, okay, so that's what we've got here. We can turn effects on and off individually, you know, in total, and we can make them speed up or slow down. Man, let's just slow that guy down. That's great. There we go. That's nice and relaxing. And you can see in the center of this, we've got an FFT thing. This is just drawing out radially. So if we switch the music to something a little bit more chippy, you can sort of see exactly what this is doing. And I've got some really obnoxious chippy stuff too. Okay. So for those who arrived late, an FFT is the set of frequencies from bass to high. And if you draw them, and you've got stuff that's got simple harmonics, it looks really obvious what's going on. And if you've just got voice or something, that's also obvious because voice is fairly and nice. Okay, so that's what the example looks like. And we'll just walk through the code for it. I've got a little bit of comments at the top, just to say how it's controlled. We have the Crystal library for ESS, FFT-based things, we've seen all this before. The FFT tuning variables, these are all the same as previously. Rock Band direct control things. Okay, so these are global variables. I've got a Boolean array for which background effects are turned on or off. I've got a float array for the speed of the different layers. And then a float called pulse, which is used for the background. Oh, hey, the background flash. I didn't show the background flash. What's the key for that? 1 and 2. Okay, let's run this. So you can see here, we pulse this water on the beat. That's obnoxious if it's not too much, but so that's your background flash. And I have another one where I reset the timing of other things on 2. So you can see that these things bounce back to the start position. So it's actually surprising how effective this is when you've got it keyed to the music. It may just look like, oh, we're drawing the background white on your screen. But when you've got it going to music, you've got it on a big screen, it's much more satisfying. Okay, so let's go back up to the top and get back through our code. Setup is basically the same as before. I'm just initializing some variables. I've set no stroke. This is a call so that no outlines are drawn. But everything else is the same. I'm sizing the screen to the screen with the heights and curves 30. We set up the ESS library the same way we did before. We've got the audio input data call. It's just the handler so that we can get our audio data. Every frame, here's our draw function. So every frame, I advance the clock for each one of these layers. So they've all got their layer speed, which is separate. And the layer time for each one is just incremented by that much. It's pretty easy. This sweet little line here, I have to thank Blockparty for this little gem. So the pulse value, whenever I hit 1, that gets set to 1. And the background of the okay, right. So the background background image is drawn according to this pulse variable. So when I set it to 1, it's going to draw it white. And then, over time, we want to bring that down to 0. So a nice way to do that, to have it fall off quickly and then slowly fade out to black, is to use a linear interpolate. So we basically, we average pulse with 0. And we move it 80% of the way towards 0. This is 20. So each frame we move it 20% of the way towards 0. So it'll kind of curve down towards black. So it flashes white, but then it's around for a little while. So it's not bright for too long. So this is just a cute little gem. And then so that draws the background in white. I think this is actually simple code. And then there are the looping effects. I just check each boolean, and then I go and I call these 3 different functions with different layer times. So there's the zoom grid, which was the squares of the tunnel, and then the solid rectangle scroll for the vertical and horizontal lines that came through. So the place that those are actually specified is in this other tab. This is the first time we've seen multiple tabs in this IDE. Don't be afraid, they're all basically in the same namespace. They're just all clobbered together on top of each other. They're not really separate classes or anything, so it's not as big. But these are all organized over here. Hey guys, can you, because we're recording, can you just keep it down until I'm done? Thanks. Like in 10 minutes we're going to do. So these are all in here. You can see how these are implemented. They just draw rectangles. And then the FFT component I put into draw mid. So that's the draw function. And then here's the FFT stuff. This is basically the FFT stuff from before, and I added some angle stuff, and I draw it from the center out to some point on the periphery. And then there's just the key press handling stuff. So, so when I hit 1 or 2, I have snare hit and kick hit. And so set pulse to 1, or it'll reset all the layer times for the kick drum. I handle QWE to turn the background effects on and off, to say whether they're drawn. And then capital and lowercase a, s, and d will increase and decrease the speed of the different layers. So that's the entirety of this effect. And anything that you add to this is going to, like, that's the entire code. So things that you could do in the hacking part. Let me just get back so I can remember what I was going to suggest. Right, so just try, just as the basic level of things, try changing some colors and actually playing with this thing to the music. Like seriously, I want everyone to do this. Put on your music or listen to my music and hit the buttons on the beat. If you have no rhythm, you can just let it loop and you can change the looping time. But really try doing this and just imagine the thing being huge and the room being really dark and the music being really loud. And it's surprisingly effective when it's big, just to flash white on the screen. If you're nerds, BlackCon and Proce, or Blacklight and Proce, sorry, add new effects, add crazy things, make this 3D. I want to see a big cube grid that's got these things sweeping through it instead of just lines. That's what I'm going to put 5 times. And then advanced people add post-processing effects with OpenGL shaders. There's some code somewhere out there to do that. So yeah, so that's the end of the code explanation stuff. Does anyone have any questions on the code that everyone might benefit from before we just go into the half hour of freeform hacking? No questions? Okay. So with that, we'll end recording and just get our hands dirty.